Hello and welcome to another CrowdProperty.com funding opportunity. Today we're at Hollins Grove Farm Barns, Stillington Road, Easingwold in North Yorkshire, and this is the Phase 1 raise. Now, CrowdProperty is a peer-to-peer lending platform designed to facilitate loans between private individuals and professional property businesses. CrowdProperty is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority under permission number 723959. CrowdProperty is not covered by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme. There are risks with any loans you make, and just like all peer-to-peer lending, your capital is at risk. CrowdProperty endeavours to protect all lenders. This is done by registering the legal first charge against the property project. This means that in the very unlikely event a borrower defaults on the loan, CrowdProperty will be able to take ownership of the project and manage it for the lenders. So let me introduce you to the borrower on this project, and it's Galters Developments Limited. Their company number 105-81450. The sole director is Stephen Dugdale. I'm delighted to say he's with me. Welcome along, Stephen. Tell us a little bit more about you and your background.
Yeah, good morning, Andy. Yeah, my name's Steve Dugdale, and I've been involved in construction since I left university in 1979 as a professional land surveyor working in the Middle East. And since the late 80s, I've been working in house building with jobs as a contracts manager for a national house builder. We managed our own house building company up until 2000, when we started specialising in importing and supplying timber windows and doors from SP Fönster in Sweden, which we managed all the way through to 2015, when I officially retired. I soon got bored with retirement, and we are now back in house building, doing nice little projects in and around the market town of Easingwold in North Yorkshire, where I live.
And I can see that a lot of your contractors, like the architect, the quantity surveyor, are Dugdale Homes LLP. I'm guessing that they're related to you.
They are quite closely related to me, as I own the company. We have a large experience of the house building. We do all our own quantity surveying. We employ external architects to do the principal designs, but the fine detailing and the construction detailing is done by ourselves and our little team here in North Yorkshire. And we like to use local contractors, local builders. Most of the guys on our sites live within 10 minutes drive, 15 minutes drive of our site, all experienced tradespeople. And it's just nice to work with a really good bunch of people who know what they're doing, who don't need supervising minute by minute.
So let's then have a look at the project. It's phase 1 of an estimated 3-phase raise, where CrowdProperty has already agreed a total loan facility of £1.425 million, with the first raise being £450,000. That's to develop farm buildings in Easingwold, North Yorkshire, to become 6 dwellings. The loan is going to run for a maximum of 18 months. Interest on this raise is retained, so lenders will receive interest paid monthly at the equivalent rate of 7.8% per annum. Interest on future raises will be rolled up and paid at the end. So let's start off then, please, Stephen. Tell us a little bit more about the town of Easingwold.
Easingwold is quite an old town, going back to mentions in the Doomsday Book. It's progressed a little bit since then. We have a nice little market town in North Yorkshire. We're about 15-20 minutes north of York. Bus services to York, bus services to Thirsk. We've got good communication links with the national highway system. I can be on the A1 in under 15 minutes, on the A19 in 5 minutes. So we've got good communication links. We've got some really nice schools, a really good, highly recommended junior school, and a commended academy school for senior school provisions. Good dental facilities, doctors, high street shops, nice little marketplace with lots of independence, and it's becoming a coffee destination centre. We get an awful lot of cyclists coming here over the weekends, visiting, even in these tricky times that we're in at the moment. So it's a nice town, it's a developing town, it's a lively, lots of development in and around the town, but not too much. It's just being managed in a really good way.
And you've got a former farm building, you're going to convert that into becoming dwellings, and it's built of a traditional brick and more modern steel and concrete frame buildings. Planning permission has been granted by Hambleton District Council. Their planning reference is 18/00559/FUL, where permission has been granted to create 6 dwelling houses, 2 from the conversion and refurbishment of existing barns, and 4 from new build dwellings. The exit strategy is that once the development is completed, the plots will then be sold in the open market to repay the loan. Here is the location plan of the properties. On the left, you can see the CrowdProperty flag pointing to Easingwold and where that's located in the country, not too far from Harrogate and York. On the right-hand side, you can see it's just outside of the village of Easingwold, and you can see the CrowdProperty flag pointing to Hollins Grove. More about the locations. This property located just off Stillington Road. The site itself is 0.68 hectares, which is about 1.69 acres. And the town is mentioned in the Doomsday books, we heard Stephen say earlier, as, and I can get tripped up on this word, but something like Easingwold in the Bulford 100 section of that particular book. Let's then look at this proposed development. Give us an overview of what you're doing here, Stephen.
Okay, quite simply, there is an existing farmhouse, which is actually plot 1, which explains why we start at plot 2 to 7. We are not buying the farmhouse, but we're buying all the redundant buildings at the back of the farmhouse. The farmhouse has actually been sold to a third party, and they'll be developing in tandem with us and working in a partnership arrangement on some items. The barns that we're buying at the back are a combination of traditional brick-built barns and existing steel-framed building and a concrete-framed building, both of which have got planning permission using the Park Q permitted development rights scheme that the government launched in the last few years. There's additional detached garage blocks for house number 2 and 5, and a conversion of into a parking barn of a metal-clad timber frame structure at the moment. And the rest of the site is developed into garden areas and parking areas, as we can see on the plan.
Now, the total gross development value is £2.59 million with vacant possession. How did you come about this project?
It's the usual way around these parts of the world that we happen to know the guy who happened to know the one that owned the farmhouse. And as usual, meet over a beer in the pub and have a bit of a chat about it. The site didn't go to open market. It's a scheme where we know the vendor. We know that these will be well received by the local market. As usual, it's the best way to do business with friends and associates that you know.
So let's start to look at the plots then in detail. Let's start off with plot 2.
Plot 2 is a combination of 2 existing bungalows. On the ground floor plan, you can see vertically the dining kitchen area, and horizontally on the ground floor, it's labelled as utility, office and lounge. And the hallway between that is actually a new link that we're going to build to join these 2 separate barns together. On the first floor, we've got 3 bedrooms, currently 2 ensuite and 1 as a family bathroom. It's likely we'll connect the 3rd bathroom into bedroom 2 to make all 3 as ensuite bedrooms. The dining kitchen area is an open plan, large space. And as we can see, we're moving along now to plot 3. This is a single story existing barn, about 92 square meters, 2 bedrooms, both of which will, one will be ensuite, one with an access to a family bathroom, open plan dining and living. Plot 4 and 5 is actually 1 steel frame barn. Around the outside of the ground floor plan, you can see some blue dots. They're the existing steel frame, and these buildings are timber framed and built within the structure of the steel frame barn. Lots of open space, lots of open plan, full height voids above the living room and a void above the kitchen and or the dining room in plot 4 or plot 5. 3 ample sized bedrooms upstairs, all of which will end up being ensuite. You can see from the outside, it's brick built for the first 2.4 meters, clad in a typical Yorkshire boarding style, which will actually be a Siberian larch. The windows will be triple glazed aluminium clad timber windows. So high specification, high performance houses, but set in a traditional looking agricultural setting, which we think will appeal to the marketplace around Easingwold. 6 and 7, 2 smaller units around about 98 square meters each. Again, Park Q. This is sat inside a concrete frame structure, which we have to retain. And again, the same external cladding, brickwork to 2.4, and then the Siberian larch above there. 2 bedrooms in each one, same layout in each house, both of which will be ensuite. And we're looking at introducing a mezzanine deck in above bedroom 1 and 2 for storage and maybe potential use as a hobby room later on.
Who do you think will be your typical buyers for these projects?
Well, my advisors tell me that there's an awful lot of demand around here at the moment for downsizing, mums and dads with kids have left home who want a high quality, high specification home, lock up and leave so they can go traveling and they can then come back and have a really nice living in the edge of a nice village, but with open rural views, nice quiet place to be. There is a 3-acre paddock adjacent to the site which can also be sold to one of these people. So it's got a lot of possibilities for a lot of different people.
Now, I know that you're working on some other projects as well that have been funded by CrowdProperty. How are these going?
The one on the screen at the moment at Hag Lane in Raskelf was for 3 units. The photograph shows plot 1 on the left with a single-storey dwelling and plot 2 in the middle. Plot 3 is obscured by the tree on the right side. Plots 1 and 3 are currently occupied. All the funding for CrowdProperty was returned after 8 months out of the 15 months. So the plot 2 in the middle, that is actually being finished off and will be handed over to a client on the 9th of October. So the whole project is coming to an end, which means that we are able to then concentrate fully on the project at the farm.
I've got a couple of case studies as well, which I'd like to share with everybody, if that's okay, Steve. Talk us through the shieling.
Okay, what we're looking at here is a new build bungalow at our site at York Road in Easingwold, directly opposite the senior school. We've got brand new build, triple glazing windows again, with a nice sunroom on the back of this house. It's got a glulam frame structure that you can see. And when we design all of these details like the sunroom, along with our window suppliers, internally you can see the specification is very high, solid oak engineered floors, all fitted kitchens with fitted appliances, as you can see. It's a very high quality product and the customers absolutely love them.
And this took you 10 months to do. The land purchase price 395 with the bill cost 745 gave you quite a healthy profit on it.
Well, we need to make some pennies when we can so that we can invest them into our forward projects. So after the shieling, we went and invested that money into allowing us to develop at Raskelf, and any monies that we're making at Raskelf, we roll that forward as well to allow us to invest into the farm project. And the help that we get from CrowdProperty is invaluable to allow us to move forward, producing quality homes for the local marketplace and employing local people.
The second case study that you've worked on is South Villa. What did you do on this one?
Well, as you can see, it's another new build bungalow. Demand around Easingwold for single-storey dwellings is phenomenal. We can sell them off plan before we've even started excavating foundations. And as you can see, the kitchen specifications very high, granite worktops, nice lighting schemes. We work with the clients who are going to live in the homes. They help us design the house to the fit for the finishes. So they choose in their own kitchen units, their own worktops, light fittings, bathrooms, and we're just providing a structure to wrap around that and to finish it off to a high standard so they take the keys in the home that they want.
Let's return back then to this project at Hollins Grove Farm Barns. This is phase 1, which is for £450,000 out of the total facility of £1.425 million. RICS have verified the current market value to be £750,000, and they verified the total gross development value to be £2.59 million. The estimated construction cost is £1,024,000. Initial drawdown is going to be £450,000, and the remaining loan then is drawn in stages upon the completion of the independent monitoring surveyor's reports. Therefore, the initial loan to value is 60%, with the loan to gross development value excluding the rolled up interest being 55%. And then the amount at the exit, if it goes full term based on that gross development value, including the rolled up interest, is 60.2%. Profit on cost is 16.32%. It's for a term of up to 18 months. This loan is targeted to start on the 9th of October 2020. And remember, this project will be first charge secured to protect people investing on this project. Once the development is completed, the borrower will then sell the plots in the open market to repay the lenders. On this first phase, you will receive interest paid monthly at the equivalent rate of 7.8% per annum. So your next steps then are to make sure that you understand this loan, carry out your own due diligence on the project and the development team, and then decide how much you would like to lend. CrowdProperty.com is the place to be to pledge on launch. The necessary anti-money laundering checks will be carried out, and then you'll be invited to send your funds to your own online e-wallet, and you'll start earning interest on completion of the loan agreement. So this is phase one of Hollins Grove Farm Barns, Stillington Road, Easingwold in North Yorkshire, where this is a loan for up to 18 months. On this first phase, we're looking to raise £450,000, and this will pay interest at the rate of 7.8% per annum, and that is going to be paid monthly. Thank you for watching this CrowdProperty.com funding opportunity. We look forward to you joining us again soon back here at CrowdProperty.com.